Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 19 of OnEBoard's Tech Talk. This week I am here with Bob, and our gracious hostess Nina is unable to join today, but I have some information to share from her. So I will start with that. Let me share my screen. And what Nina wanted to share today was about Google Analytics 4 and the User Acquisition Report. She says, just a second here because I have too many tabs open. Nina says that if you're interested in the traffic sources to your site, you should look at the user acquisition report. As she points out in this example, most of the visitors to this particular site from her account are coming from organic search, which is really nice to see. So if organic search is important, definitely check this report in your Google Analytics 4 account. All right. So Bob, what are you thinking about this week? What did you learn this week?
Well, actually, I think I've outlined for you folks before that I'm doing some promotional YouTube short videos for our 50th high school reunion. And of course, there's times when you can't get the appropriate image. And in this case, there was some raw video shot at a civic center in which a person was talking about socials used to be held there 50 years ago, and that we're going to recreate that very same thing come September. And he was talking about refreshments. And sure as heck, you cannot go online and find an image without having to pay for it, which is that's the way it should be. But I was thinking that, hey, maybe I can just run down to the grocery store with my smartphone and take some B-roll.
And I love that.
Yeah, in fact, I've done this many times. And in fact, I would encourage people that while you're out and about, don't forget about those ordinary things that could come into play. But instead, I took a path B, and that was, get this, I used AI to generate an image of soft drinks or snacks on a table using generative AI or Firefly. Now, I basically typed in that I wanted a photo of some soda and some chips. That was the initial description I gave. And in a matter of, I would say 5 seconds, up popped 4 different images. They were all pretty good. They were photo-like. However, the really interesting thing is that they took the word chips to mean fish. So I went back in there and I told it, no, I would like to have potato chips, and then let's add pretzels to the mix. So and then I got 4 new images, and they were all they were commercial free. They were neutral. There was no markings of Coca-Cola, which was perfect. And in fact, it was a nice big image. I was able to resize it as I basically embedded it into Premiere Pro. In fact, I was able to even blur it some more so that it looked, in fact, I turned it into black and white and blurred it so it looked like it was from the 70s. So
that's cool.
I can tell you that that's a thumbs up for you folks that are thinking or stuck in B-roll hell. In other words, you can't find, something as simple as a lampshade or something like that. Go to generative AI or Firefly, type that in, and it's all based in the browser. I did it all in the browser, and I don't know if I was allowed to do that because I already have an account with Adobe. I don't know. I don't know, but I believe it's open to the public. It's obviously it's not perfect, but boy, in those situations where you need something fast and in the clutch, you can't beat it.
I think it's interesting because in a way, the fact that you didn't have a specific brand of soda or brand
Yeah.
of chips, it actually makes it better, right? Because you just wanted a generic representation
Yes,
of those
absolutely. That is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have any kind of branding on there because I don't even know exactly what we're going to supply.
I think that makes sense. And I
Yeah.
like that Adobe stands behind Firefly's images in terms of it being trained on licensed or public domain images. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to worry about copyright issues like you might with other generative AI.
Right. And please know that when those images are generated, Adobe does put their little stamp on there, generated by Firefly. So I did not try to remove it because I already blurred most of the image anyway. You could still see it. I really don't want to take away Adobe's thunder, basically, because absolutely, I mean, what they're doing is fantastic. It's going to be a huge time saver at a minimum, if not, resource saver. When you need that, like I said, lampshade or sunset, oh my goodness, it can produce something that probably will work for you in a pinch.
I think I'd have to double check, but I think Google said that when they have the generative AI in like Google Bard and so forth, they are actually using Adobe Firefly. So they have some sort of deal with Adobe. So you may be able to use that when you're using the generative images in Google products as well.
Right. The other thing I forgot to mention, it's that it's the way you get the images is it's text based. I don't think you can show a photo and say that, hey, somebody else's photo, and tell Firefly that, hey, I want you to change it enough that I don't have to worry about copyright issues. So you can't do that. But no, I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, if you wanted, you could try. I'm just saying that Adobe right now does not offer that service.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like something they might do in the future, though.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking it's likely. I think people do it anyway, without using AI, to take something off anywhere off the web and then kind of run it through the meat grinder to make enough changes. And, and in fact, that's allowed in many cases, with a Creative Commons license, that in many cases, the author will allow you to change it as long as you give them credit.
That's true. That's true.
So again, we want to stay within the rule of law here, folks.
That's great. Thanks for showing that. And I want to talk about what I'm thinking about this week is Meta's new social platform, Threads, which is linked to Instagram. So if you sign up for Threads, you can use your Instagram login and it will transfer your social graph from Instagram over to the new text-based platform. I think it's really, people are really excited about it. It's really active right now. They are saying the right thing, whether they actually follow through. They launched this quickly because of all of the stuff on Twitter. They decided it was probably worth getting this out there. They say they don't want this to be a Twitter killer. This is for people who are on Instagram but want to have a more text platform for discussions they talk about. And what's interesting is they've pledged to link this, make this interoperable with ActivityPub. That's what's used by Mastodon and other Fediverse apps. So at least in theory, you can interact with people on these other platforms eventually when they launch it. So it will be really interesting to see. And Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, who's driving this, talked about in an interview how it's important for creators to be able to have a portable audience, so you're not locked into a particular platform. It all sounds really weird coming from Meta, but those are important things. So it would be really interesting to see how this plays out. And I also wanted to mention that I am seeing a lot of old Google Plus people on Threads who seem really excited about it. It's really kind of reviving some older communities as people who maybe went to Instagram, but maybe weren't that active there. Now there's Threads. Oh, okay, they're checking it out. So I think this is actually something to really watch.
Well, I really like the idea of that portability. I think Blue Sky was trying to do, or is doing that too.
Yes, I think what I read from Blue Sky is that they are building like a platform, but maybe Blue Sky is the only site that's using it so far. So it's theoretically interoperable if anybody else uses it, kind of thing. So that seems to be the wave of the future, perhaps.
Actually, well, hopefully they can get it to work. And I immediately, I like the idea of what they're trying to do is that, trying to make it so that you can take your little handbag with you wherever you go. Nothing could be better, for sure. So,
yep, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's great. Thank you for joining today, Bob. We'll be live again in 2 weeks for episode 20. Thank you for watching.
See ya.